Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. Laundry. Ladies and gentlemen, I always like to leave my laundry to the last minute. I can't stand doing laundry. But then again, I can't think of one person that actually likes to do laundry. Here's my strategy. I'm a guy. I'm lazy. I have other shit to do in my life that really serves no purpose, but I'd rather do all that shit than do laundry. So, my thing is this, and I heard this a long time ago from a friend of a friend. I believe I bought weed off him once, but anyways, he has a great strategy. He buys, or he makes sure he always has 30 pairs of laundry. This way, he does laundry once a month. When he's out of underwear, that's when he knows to do laundry. And that's what I do when I'm down to my last pair of underwear. Now, I have certain pairs of underwears I like to wear more. I have underwear that I can't believe it's lasted this long. I have underwears where I don't really like them that much. I bought them one time. You can't return underwear. That's just fucking disgusting. So you got to keep them. So they're backups. But once I'm done every single pair of underwear, that's when you know it's time to do laundry. Because you got socks and the pants and shorts and shirts and t-shirts, and people that know me know that I have a lot of t-shirts. But it's just a pain in the ass. But let's see what Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, has to say about laundry. Laundry refers to the washing of clothing and other textiles. Laundry processes are often done in a room reserved for that purpose. In an individual home, this is referred to as the laundry room. Laundry in Australian English, or utility room. An apartment building or student hall of residence may have a shared laundry facility, such as a, oh God, look at this word, Tsuga, TVA with the two dots on top, TTSTUGA. Good luck on that one. A stand-alone business is referred to as a self-service laundry, launderette in British English, or laundromat in American English. The material that is being washed or has been laundered is also generally referred to as laundry. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, folks. As soon as I heard the word laundered, I'm half Italian, so there's a lot of other meanings to that word. For instance, let's say if you owned a strip club and, you want to, make some extra money on the side, dealing, something called, what's it called again? Cocaine, white stuff, booger sugar, sure. And, you don't want to have this money on the books. So what you do is you feed the money through your business, or just a legitimate business. Sometimes it is an actual laundromat. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not part of that. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Now, through that, you get to make extra money. But we're not talking about that today. Maybe one day we will, when I got better lawyers. But laundry is just a pain in the ass, like I said before. And as you can see, there's different ways of doing it. Me personally, my situation right now, I got a good apartment. I'm not complaining. I got a Greek landlord. He's cool. He always complains. That means he's a Greek landlord. But there's no laundry in here. So I got to go down the street. I got to either take a short bus ride, or I could walk it with the bags. If I'm feeling good, cool. If I'm not doing it. If it's shitty weather, I'm screwed. Gotta go on the bus. Either way, you gotta bring all that shit with you. It's a pain in the ass. But you got to do what you got to do, because no man in history has ever gotten laid without having a clean pair of underwear. That's just facts. But anyways, laundry has been part of history since humans began to wear clothes. So the methods by which different cultures have dealt with this universal human need are of interest to several branches of scholarship. Laundry work has traditionally been highly gendered, with the responsibility in most cultures falling to women, known as laundresses or washerwomen. I'll be honest with you, I've been doing my laundry since I was 16. I don't need anybody to do my laundry. Men, women, aliens, doesn't matter. So clearly this is sexist. I don't condone this shit. If you can move, if you know how to push a button on a machine, then there's no excuse why you can't do your own laundry. The individual revolution gradually led to merchandised solutions to laundry work, notably the washing machine and later the tumble dryer. Laundry, like cooking and childcare, is done both at home and by commercial establishments outside the home. Look, I'm not a rich man. Even if I was, do you really want someone else to clean your own laundry? To clean your dirty ass underwear? I mean, who knows what you did the night before? You know, I'm not going to get into it. I don't judge. I mean, we all have our weird little habits and certain things we do to stay clean. But again, you know, just do your own laundry if you can do it, if it's accessible. Just saying. And it's not like back in the day where, you know, you literally have to go to a ravine and just scrub away your clothes. I mean, I look at some of these pictures and I'm just like, I don't know how the fuck these guys had the patience to do this shit. I mean, thank God. Again, you gotta be the laziest motherfucker to not want to do laundry. I get it. There's days, you know, on the weekend, you just want to chill. You don't want to get up and do anything. It sucks. But you still got to do it. You need clean clothes. I am sick and tired of going out there, having some beautiful clean clothes, and then I'm sitting on the bus, and then right after, I almost feel like I'm almost like a magnet, like getting the person's stench on my shit, or someone's not cleaning their clothes properly, and it's just, it's not a good feeling, you know, it really isn't. And I'm getting sick and tired of it, guys. You guys and gals, everybody out there has got to get out there and do your own laundry. You have to. So let's just say, for example, you're in my situation. You got to go to a laundromat. So once you're there, it's very quiet, you know. It's, maybe there's a couple people there. Maybe you're just, you know, you just want to just relax and zone out, and maybe in between loads you have a smoke, or you just think about, why am I doing this? Why am I doing laundry? And you try to stuff all your clothes into like a super machine. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I don't know, like I know people that do laundry and they just put like a couple clothes. I mean, like I'll see the load. I mean, like when I fill up a machine, it is packed to the gills. I mean, like in my opinion, if you can like see the back of the machine, like through the glass there, you haven't put enough clothes in. Okay, these machines are, you know, they're meant to be heavy duty. That's all. You know, just don't put any bricks in there and you'll be fine. And of course, you got to make sure you got change. You got to have a loonie. You got to have a toonie. If you're Canadian, you know, if you're American, you just got to worry about the green bills. Put it in the machine. Make sure it's nice and crisp. Make sure the coins come out nice and shiny. And that's another pain in the ass. There's been times where I'll put money in the machine. I don't get the right amount of change. I'll call the number on the thing there. And then you feel like a dick, you know, because like you're talking to the guy and, you know, like he kind of looks at you like, are you fucking me over? You know, are you just looking for another quarter? And then like, you know, you kind of feel like that. Like maybe, you know, maybe he's trying to stiff you, and it's just an awkward thing, you know. So I try to have the right amount of change, you know. which never ends up happening anyway. So I just use the machine and take my chances. Then you got to use a nice detergent. You know, it doesn't have to be the best, but a nice detergent. Now, me personally, I don't like this powdered shit. I used it for years, or not even, like maybe a couple times a couple years ago, whatever. It was fucking horrible. It's horrible. I don't like it. Now they'll say, you use too much, you use too little, you got too many clothes in there, you got to make sure, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Okay? You put the liquid stuff in there, you know, I get whatever the fuck's on sale, I don't care. It's not like I'm going to save it afterwards. And that's it. It's that simple. And I don't like these fucking pods they use. By the way, I heard, like, what was it, like a year ago, people were doing a pod challenge and they were like eating them. Like, are you, like, you gotta be the stupidest test tube baby of all time if you're eating that shit. I mean, I get it, man. Like, I get it. You know, I get hungry too. But I mean, I've never been that hungry. Never. Never. Never, never, never. So, stop putting actual fucking chemicals in your mouth. Don't be stupid. And just put them in the machine. But again, like with those things, I got to use a shitload of them. Because it's like putting a little doo-doo drop. Remember one time I was doing laundry and I just stuffed the machine like I always do. Stuff it like a good old-fashioned Thanksgiving turkey. And, you know, there's an old lady there watching me do all this. You know, she's just fascinated, you know, that, you know, someone that is European and under 30 is actually doing their own laundry. And she's like, you know, oh, you put the whole thing of detergent. I'm like, yeah, I put the whole thing, you know. Again, like, I don't want to bring this shit back with me, you know. You just put the whole thing in there. It's a huge load, you know. How many shirts I got in there? Who knows? 10, 15, whatever. 1, 2, 3 shorts. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. Just stuff it in there. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, I don't know, nothing ends up in Narnia, you know, and I get all my shit back. And that's what always happens. Like, I mean, you know, you hope that you will not lose clothes. You really hope you don't. And that's actually happened. I don't know how the fuck that happens. I lose socks all the fucking time. I don't know what happens. And I check the machine thoroughly. You know, there's times where, you know, change will pop out, you know, a bus token or, you know, a nickel or, you know, a dime bag, whatever. The point is just, you know, it's really weird. And you're like, where the fuck does this shit go? And like, even, after I'm done with the wash, I put all the shit in the basket, and then I spin the thing, you know, to make sure nothing's in there. And sometimes I'll catch a sock here and there. But then after you do the dryer, you're like, where the fuck did my socks go? I don't know. The shit just fucking disappears. I don't know. I joked about a dime bag there. There's actually a good story behind that one. Again, when you do laundry, you absolutely have to check your pockets. I cannot stress this enough. I've lost, well, I didn't lose it, but I mean, I left my Bluetooth in my pocket. And, you know, of course, it got destroyed. I think I've done that twice. The one thing I was really pissed off at is when I was younger, I had a bunch of weed on me. So I was like, let me just roll one big cannon. And that's what we call a big joint, folks. And I was like, fuck it, who cares? Double paper, who cares? Let's do this. Let's go nuts before my parents come home from the cottage. So I'm like, okay, you know, I put it in a cigarette box, you know, like you do. And then I put it in my pocket, and then I'm like, okay, let me do laundry before. And then, you know, I'm like, do I have to wash anything else? I'm like, you know what? I might as well just wash the pants I'm wearing, put them in there. And as soon as I start the fucking thing, about a minute later, I go, you motherfucker. I had the joint in my fucking pocket. And you know what the worst thing is? You know, the old washing machines, you know, I remember back in the day, I'm sure they still do it sometimes, but you got the washer, you got the dryer, but the washer, you know, the water, you know, they sometimes have the old sink, you know, so all that water just spits out in the old sink. And, you know, to add insult to injury, when the water is coming out, like all these little green spots are coming out in the water, and it was a big ass joint, and last of my weed, of course. And just all these little, weed bits are coming out. It looks like fucking raining weed bits everywhere. Walking in a weed wonderland. But yeah, it was just so depressing, because you're just like, yeah, it's not like I can take it and strain it. But yeah, so always check your pockets before you put clothes in the laundry. Now, like I said before, it's not hard to do laundry. You put the clothes in there. Like I said, we've already gone through this. You put the detergent in there. You wait till the thing is going. You see the shit spinning. If you're at the laundromat, just sit back and enjoy the show. That's it. There's not much to it. And then after, when you're done, you put the shit in the dryer. Now, this isn't hard either, folks. You take the clothes. Again, make sure you haven't lost a million socks. Put them in the dryer. If you're doing it at the laundromat, the lint trap, that's their problem, not mine. But if you're at home, obviously, you gotta check the lint trap. And yeah, that shit can catch on fire. And yes, you can burn the house down. And yes, there has been lots of stories where people have done that. And my parents would always give me shit for that. They'd be like, did you check the lint trap? Did you clean the lint trap? But I mean, there'd be a little bit in there. No, it's got to be clean. I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't want any trouble. You guys didn't find out about the weed until now. That's cool. I get it. We'll call it even. But, yeah, make sure that shit is clean and your laundry will go nice and smooth. You wait for it to dry, put it on medium, put it on high. Use your best judgment. Like I said, if I'm at the laundromat, I'm just putting in a bunch of quarters and I put the whole thing on high. I don't got time for this shit. I really don't, Quarter for every 5 minutes. You put it on high, about $1.25, you're good. Like I said, I put a shitload of laundry in there. Maybe, you're different. Maybe you got extra money to spend. I don't. I'm just going to put that shit on high and just hope the thing doesn't catch on fire. Even if it does, maybe it'll dry my clothes quicker. I don't know. And for the most part, you just got to wait. Me personally, I like to go outside for a bit, clear my head. It's more cooler because these fucking machines can, it feels like the depths of hell sometimes when you're in some of these laundromats. You got to open the doors on one end to the other. And another thing, like with these laundromats, every laundromat should have a bathroom. Now, I get if it's like a 24-hour one, maybe you can't always keep an eye on it. But look, if someone's got to take a piss, within an hour and a half, 2 hours of doing laundry, they got to do it. Worst case scenario, you go outside. Have I done that? The point is, you got to have a bathroom there. So that's just my little tip to anybody that runs a laundromat. And here's the biggest pain in the ass of the whole process of doing laundry is folding. This is the worst part. It really is. You don't feel like folding clothes. You got to take them out. Make sure your shirts aren't wrinkled. Make sure the towels are fully dry, because those fuckers always take the most time, because it's like drying a sponge, a wet sponge, a very wet sponge. And just make sure everything is nice and clean, and that's it. It's really that simple to do laundry. It's not that complicated. Don't be lazy. I know people that still live at home in their 40s. They still got their moms doing laundry. That is just extremely sad. It really is. There's something very wrong, and you have problems. I mean, there's something like I get if you got some kind of thing going. If you got deficiency, whatever, I get it. But if you can move normally, yeah, you're fine. You can do laundry. Okay, like I said before, it's not like back in the day where you're just scrubbing away and hanging shit outside to dry, which a lot of people still do. By the way, I mean, I always think of like a city like New York, like back in the day when they would just like put clothes on, the clotheslines and just let them air dry, you know, which, I mean, it saves you money. I don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, but yeah, it's going to take a really long time. But at the same time, like even like a city like New York, I mean, like, you got to think of all the air that's, all the shit that's flying there, and like it's just gonna grab your clothes, and it's just gonna stick on there, and then you gotta worry about if someone's gonna take your shit. I mean, I walk around my neighborhood sometimes. I still see people do that. Like they put their clothes on a clothesline. And, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, you're in desperate need of a pair of underwear if you're stealing it. But, I mean, it could happen. You never know. Or you could have some kids, vandalize it or whatever. I I get it. I get it. You just want that crisp air in your clothes. Let's say if like a truck went by and then all the exhaust and shit, then it's going to breathe into that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's kind of like camping, where camping is stupid, and like we don't have to live outside anymore. So now like we got these machines. Now we don't have to do this shit anymore. And you're not really saving that much money. It's not like you're thinking about like buying a car and you're like, nah, okay, I'll sell for a scooter. I think it's just worth the extra couple quarters. That's just me. I'm not a Roman soldier. You guys know that about me, right? But let's see what they have to say in ancient Rome, and how did they clean their clothes there. The workers in ancient Rome who cleaned the cloth were called full ones. Singular fullo, cf. fulling, a process in wooling making, a fuller's earth used to clean. Clothes were treated in small tubs standing in niches surrounded by low walls, known as trending or fulling stalls. The tub was filled with water and a mixture of alkaline chemicals, sometimes including urine. Wait, what? You, well, what? Well, that kind of what? Oh my God. Oh God, another proud moment for my people. Okay, okay, I'm going to read the rest of this and then I'm going to analyze this. Hold on. The fuller stood in the tub and trampled the cloth, a technique known elsewhere as posting. The aiming of this treatment was to apply the chemical agents to the cloth. God, sorry, I can't get over the urine. Anyways, so that they could do their work and resolving of greases and fats. These stalls are also typical of these workshops, that they are used to identify full honest gay. I think that's right. Full on is gay. Yeah, sure. In the archaeological remains. Okay, so let's get back to the urine thing. Okay. I mean, okay, if you get stung by a jellyfish, the best thing to do is pee on it. I hear you. It's got the chemicals in there. Okay. Okay, so okay, so back then they didn't have the tie-dye sticks. I get it. Which, by the way, if I could recommend a detergent, because a lot of times if you go downtown Toronto, some of these bodegas or stores, I like to call them in the Canadian culture, they can overcharge on detergent anywhere between $15 to $20, which is just insane for something that's going to just go down the drain anyway. But I will recommend Tide. There's like a cherry scented one that's really good. I've always enjoyed that. Tide, you can't go wrong with that. Big orange container, it stands out. Anyways, this urine shit, wow, okay. You gotta assume most people back then did not have that many fats, I guess, or diabetes. It wasn't that much blood in the urine, I guess. So, yeah, I guess it could, get rid of the stains, I guess. That's one way of thinking about it. All right, well, you do what you got to do, you know? Huh. Let's see here. In India, they say that laundry was traditionally done by men. A washerman was called a Dihob-i-wala, and Dihobi became the name of their cascade group. The places where they worked included Dhobi Gaunt in Mumbai. Related to this is Dhobi Gaunt in Singapore and Dhobi Gaunt Penang in Malaysia. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's all right. I understood maybe half that. Okay. Yeah. You ever go to like a dry cleaner and I just assume that every dry, like, again, I'm not trying to sound racist here, but like every dry cleaner I've been to is just owned by an Asian, Korean, whatever. It's cool. They always do a great job. Sometimes they give you attitude though. I'm not gonna lie. They, like you go in there, they look at you, and they look at you like you've been in there like, for 20 years, but really this is like your first time. You're just moving to the area, and you're like, listen, all I want is this stain out. Don't ask me how the stain got there. Just, I just want it out. That's all. Some of them give really good prices. Some of them, wow, do they overcharge? You ask them to put a simple patch on a shirt. It'll cost you $30. How much for dry clean for pants? $4. Okay, something doesn't even out there. So I like that's something I can never explain. I don't know why, but anyways, it says here in New York City had an estimated 3,550 Chinese laundries at the beginning of the Great Depression in 1930. In 1933, with even this looking to many people like a relatively desirable business, the city's board of aldermen passed a law clearly intentive to drive the Chinese out of the business. Among other things, it limited ownership of laundries to U.S. citizens. So, what the Chinese did was they ended up making a Chinese Hand Laundry Alliance, CHLA, which successfully challenged this provision of the law, allowing Chinese laundry workers to preserve their livelihoods. And that's how big this was. I mean, these guys did not want to lose their jobs, to something that they invested so much fucking time in. And, I don't blame them. I mean, this was their livelihood. Like, they knew what to do with this, and they preserved it. Good for them. And yeah, to this day, I still go to the same laundromat I've pretty much gone to all my life. They've been there forever, this one place. And I'm sure everyone's always been to a laundromat or dry cleaning place, whatever. And sometimes they have both together, because why not? Extra money. And they've been there forever, and that's probably one of the main reasons why. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to talk about one simple rule: don't mix whites with colors. You don't want that, especially if it's a bright color with a very white t-shirt. It's not a good idea. I mean, sometimes it's good just to throw in a couple there. If you wash them a couple times, that's fine, I guess. I'm not really a bleach guy. I've had too many bad experiences with that. I mean, you end up with the little spots on your clothes. I don't know. I don't like it. I just put a shitload of detergent in there and just, pray and hope for the best. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to pull a Homer Simpson and, make sure that Bart doesn't put the red cap in there and fucks up all your whites. It's funny too. Like, I remember that episode. I mean, that aired like how long ago? Like 30 years ago. Like, if they aired that shit today, forget, they get so much shit for it. It's like, well, what's wrong with wearing a pink shirt? A lot of people always forget too that George Washington's original suit was actually pink. I know, I don't believe that shit either, but apparently that's what I've heard. But yeah, you do not want to mix colors with whites for sure. It will not end well, at least not for your white shirts. So, just a thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, sorry guys. I mean, laundry's fun and all. I'd love to talk to you more about it, but I don't know what else to say. Actually, there is one thing I'd like to say, and it was something that just happened to me recently. And the laundromat, it's like I said, pretty much a boring place. I mean, nothing ever exciting happens there. It's not like work. Where hey, did you hear that? Jack hooked up with Sarah and on the photocopy machine. Like you don't hear shit like that at the laundromat. Even if you do, I mean, it's once in a blue moon. I've never experienced something like that. But funny thing happened to me just recently. First of all, I thought to myself, okay, I really don't feel like doing laundry. But again, you're down to your last pair of underwear, man. You're like, this is grimy. I gotta do some laundry, man. So, but at the same time, I just, wanted to wake up the next day with the hangover and not worry about anything, but just, doing a podcast and eating. So that was my plan. So I was like, okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. My laundromat is 24 hours. I'm going to go there. I'm going to put in a load. I'm going to go drink with my buddies for the next couple hours, walk home, and do the laundry. Cool, no worries. So, go in the laundromat, and everything's good. Obviously it's not busy at all. There's a woman in the back, and she's got kind of like a blanket sleeping bag on top of the table there. And I see her, and it's kind of like how Home Improvement, like how Tim would always see Wilson over the fence. You don't always see his full face. You just see pretty much from the sort of the nose and up. And she's very friendly. Hey, how are you? I'm fine, great. At this point, I'm not gonna lie. I've been pre-drinking. I'm in a mode. I'm like, I put the shit in there. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. It's all good. And I'm like, I'll see you later, I guess, okay, bye, very nice, very friendly. And, I had a great time. I walk home, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do laundry. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. And then I go to the laundromat, and the woman is still there, and, at this point, I've had a couple, not gonna lie, and I've just got to put the clothes in the dryer, again, put them full blast, Again, I was a little disappointed because they did up the machines a quarter, the washing ones, but just saying, just you guys, come on, you guys got to be making good money at this point, no? But okay, fair enough, not fair, but anyways, put the clothes in the dryer. And, I'm just talking to the lady there, just shooting the shit there. And then she, starts, talking about her situation. And, she's apparently, in hiding. Now, at this point, like I said before, I've had a couple. But at the same time, it kind of wakes you up, after hearing this. And, I kind of had an epiphany. I'm kind of like, wait a minute. You're not here doing laundry, are you? It's like that scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Spoiler alert. Brad Pitt, smokes a cigarette laced with acid. And then at one point, Charles Manson comes in, with his... Malaka's there, and he just looks at the guy and he goes, "Wait a minute, are you real?" So in my head, I'm thinking yeah, wait a minute, are I know she was real, I wasn't that fucked up, but I'm like, wait a minute, I don't think you're doing laundry, ma'am, and she kind of reminded me of the woman from Home Alone 2, the homeless woman with the pigeons, you know? Yeah, like a little bit. Like she kind of looked like her a little bit. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I mean, I totally doubt she was saying this just to fuck with me. But she's like, yeah, you know, I'm in hiding, and I'm coming from the West End, and there's not that many 24-hour laundromats in Toronto, and you know, I just need to hide somewhere where the mafia won't find me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've said it before. I think I've said it about 24 times in all these podcasts. I am half Italian. This is again not a good representation for my people. We're not all in the mafia. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna say this: there is no mafia. Okay, yeah, I said it. Second, I don't know what's going on here. I'm like, I don't know. I really hope she's not testing me or whatever. You know, because I don't know, maybe she saw my eyebrows and just assumed I was. I don't know. And then she says, well, what do you know about the mafia? Like, do you know how they act? Do you know how, you know, they move? I mean, like, what would you do in my situation? I'm like, first of all, my head's like ready to explode. I'm like, I remember one point I'm looking at like the dryer and it says 60 minutes. I'm like, this is gonna be the longest fucking 60 minutes of my life. Like, this is fucking insane. I can't believe this is happening. So I'm like, you know, I would, break habits, you know? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you know, just don't do the same routines, you know, if they know you're here at one place and go to another, you know. And in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I like to smoke when I drink. So I went outside and I said, oh, excuse me, I have to go out for a smoke. You know, I'm like, shit, okay, this will buy at least 5-10 minutes. And then I'm just outside, I'm kind of pacing up and down, you know, I'm not scared or nothing, but at the same time, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is fucking crazy. Like I came like I had Howard Stern on my phone, like on the way there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna chill for 20 minutes here, dry my clothes, fold them, listen to some Stern, and walk home, eat some pasta, and pass out. That's it. Like, that was the plan for the night. You know, and then I finished the cigarette, so I go back inside, you know, and she starts up again. You know, I don't mind. Like, again, seemed like a nice lady, but I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know if she's like homeless. I don't know if she's nuts. I don't know if she's actually telling the truth here. You know, I don't know if I'm being punked. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. So, you know, and then I'm like, you know, like again, I'm like, well, you know, again, I like, she kept asking me like, oh, like, what would you do? You know, I'm like, I would disappear. But anyways, no, like, like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, you know, so I'm kind of just like, you know, and in my head, I'm like, okay, let me do a Stern thing. Let me just try to figure out, you know, let's see if we can make this like a good interview. You know, let's see what's really going on here. I mean, you know, so I'm like, okay, so like, why are you in hiding? Like, what's going on? You know? And she's like, well, you know, I used to be a teacher, and you know, I was helping out this woman at this place, and you know, apparently I wasn't supposed to help this woman. And now she's, you know, in trouble, and, you know, her friends saw me, and then the mafia saw me, and now they're after me, you know. She's just saying a bunch of random shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, and, you know, I'm like, I mean, like, I see a camera there, but I'm on TV, like, okay. But anyways, you know, so I'm like, okay, like, how do you know it's the mafia after? She's like, oh, I know. It's the same people, you know. And she told me at one point she was in a motel room, and she was like apparently a woman showed up there. She thought that woman was part of the mafia or hired by the mafia to keep an eye on her, and she went up to the front desk, and the person at the front desk got scared, and there was a whole fucking thing there, and like, oh yeah, I see the same people after me, and that's why they don't want, you know, to find me, because, you know, like, if I could just stay alive for the next week, you know, I go to court and I get my $300,000, and with that money, you know, I could put a down payment on a condo, and then in the future I'm gonna get like millions of dollars, and then I can move away. I'm like, what? And then at one point she's like, well, where would you move to? Like, where would you go? And I don't know. I'm like, I mean, in my head, like I think I'm in the wonderful world of Oz here. But anyways, she said, I don't know, something, I'll move to the country or something. But where would you go? Like, what would you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'd probably go to Italy, And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'd get the fuck out of the country. If someone was after me, like, really? You would do that? I'm like, yeah. If someone's after me, I'd get out of the fucking country, And then I had to ask her. I'm like, okay, so where's your family in this? Like, what's going on? Like, how come no one gives a shit about you? Like, what's going on here? Like, this is fucking crazy, And she's like, well, my brother's a cop, and because, it's a legal issue, he can't get involved because he doesn't want any involvement. And I'm like, well, are you married? Are you seeing somebody? And she's like, well, I had a husband, but he died, and I'm just all alone here, and I'm just trying to figure stuff out. I'm just trying to stay alive. I'm just trying to, just stay alive for another week so I can get my money. I'm just like, I'm just tripping the fuck out. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it's just crazy. And then like at one point I'm just like folding my clothes, but she was like really nice. Like she even offered to like, oh, do you need some help with your sheets? And that's another thing too, like I want to bring up as well. Like if you see somebody, with big sheets, and don't be afraid to ask them, like, do you need a hand? Because no one has ever done that before except, like when the lady just asked me, and I thought that was really nice. Like she was a really nice lady. Like I never felt threatened, or she didn't seem crazy or nothing like that. I mean, just, yeah, I mean, she didn't seem that scared either. She was just like, just chilling, And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me, let me just, do a overall review here. You're telling me that you saw something that you shouldn't have seen. You tried to help somebody that you shouldn't have helped. And people are after you. But not only people, but the mafia. It's like, yeah, the mafia. Like, I don't get, like, I mean, are I guess, again, she, I don't know, sees my hairline and she thinks I'm Italian. And then, she's like, listen, like, are the mafia really that violent? I mean, would they actually hurt a woman? I'm like, I mean, I think for the right price, they'll hurt anybody. But, if there was a mafia, but again, there's no mafia. Let me just put that on record. Now, I say that to say this. Is there organized crime out there? Probably. But, this whole, thing about the mafia is just crazy. And again, it's a very bad stereotype for my people. And I just tell them, look, who's ever after you, just, keep your guard up, break routines. Again, in my head, I'm just playing along here. I'm assuming, this is actually for real. I mean, who knows? At one point, this woman could literally like whip out a gun and shoot me. Who knows? I mean, you never know. It's it's Toronto 2019 now. Who the fuck knows? I mean, something always happens on every weekend. So I'm like, shit, is this me or, I just wanted clean underwear. That's all I wanted. Anyways, was the clean underwear worth it? Yes, it was. But anyways, yeah, so I told her, yeah, just, do those things, be careful out there, hope everything works out for you. There you go. That's it. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say in this whole, thing here is that you never really know who you're going to run into at a laundromat, it could happen to anybody, Just always have your guard up, I guess, when you're doing laundry, I guess. I mean, like, the irony was, my biggest concern was I was going to be gone for 2 hours, and I thought someone was just going to steal my shit, But then again, they'd have to be a pretty big motherfucker, It's like they took my clothes and, like, I don't know, they can fit their whole family in my t-shirt, as my buddy would say, It's like putting on a tarp sometimes. I like loose clothing. I'm a big guy. Go fuck yourself. The point is, I'm just saying, that was my biggest concern that night. I didn't know I was going to run into Meryl Streep in Iron Weed and I was going to be the next Jack Nicholson. But it was trippy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, but yeah. But would I do it again? Yeah, sure. Why not? Uh, the point the point is, never take laundry for granted. Um, is that the point of this? Really? Never, like, after all the shit I said, never take laundry for, really. That's how I'm gonna end this podcast. Really? Never take laundry for granted. That's the best shit I can come up with. I don't know. Anyways, laundry's a pain in the ass. When you do it at a laundromat, you never know who you're gonna run into. You know, it's like the bus. Uh, it's less smelly than the bus, that's for sure. So, just keep that in mind. And yeah, when you have a chance, and you're totally out of clothes, and when you need clean clothes, I guess it's time to do laundry.